classes. You Walt Disney?
Do I have to?
You want to be a star, don't you? Then take it off! Yeah, that's nice. Art school? We don't have that kind of time. Chris, give me your...
All right, this article is coming to us from the Daily Caller, which is an admittedly right-wing source, publication, all that fun stuff. Harvey Weinstein accusers reach $44 million settlement in sexual misconduct case. Now, the reason I started off with that clip right there, do you remember the movie The Godfather? And everyone recalls the scene where the movie executive gets a horse's head put into his bed. Do you recall how they ended up getting there? That movie executive had a beef with a young star. I can't remember the guy's name, pardon me, who wanted to be in a movie, but he was like, nah, I'm dead in his career. Do you remember why he wanted to dead his career? Because there was a starlet that the executive flat out said he was in love with, that the young stud came through and just completely dismantled. So I say that, and I recall that because the casting couch is a real thing. It is part of LA Hollywood culture. And at this point, it really feels as if this was simply a money grab. The whole Me Too Time's Up thing, it was just a money grab. I mean, Dr. Cosby is in jail right now. They're trying to toss R. Kelly in jail right now. Harvey, yeah, just reach into your bank account, pimp. Disgraced Hollywood filmmaker Harvey Weinstein's accusers have reached a tentative $44 million settlement over sexual misconduct allegations, according to multiple reports. Roughly $30 million will be allocated for plaintiffs, which includes former Weinstein co-employees. The other $14 million will go towards legal fees for Weinstein's associates, as first reported by the Wall Street Journal. Weinstein Company filed for bankruptcy last year. New Jersey reopened sexual contact. Okay, whatever. Weinstein attorney Adam Harris told a federal bankruptcy court in Delaware Thursday that Weinstein and his former studio had reached an agreement in principle, although the deal has yet to be finalized. You know, when that whole Me Too Time's Up thing started, I have yet since to see them, like, I have yet to see a headline where they've, provided legal services, because this is what they said they were going to do. Provided legal services to some random female lawyer in Iowa for her sexual misconduct claim or anything else like that. That's where, we now have an economic agreement in principle that is supported by the plaintiffs, the AG office, the defendants, and all those insurers, Harris said, according to ABC. Yeah, an economic agreement, because he was never going to go to jail, because speaking of agreements, whatever, I'm pretty sure that, there was some unrequited hanky-panky going on, without question, to an extent, but it's sort of like, have you ever dealt with the bud dealer? And, of course, if they go and bring you some weight, they go and pinch. And that's basically what it is, because you had so many young starlets coming up and trying to, make it in the business. And, he was a gatekeeper of that. Which is why you really can't trust anybody that you see on television, because, I want to say like 8 times out of 10, they've had a man meet somewhere near or around them. And I think that goes for both females and males. We now have an economic agreement in principle. Okay, sorry. The movie mogul suffered a swift fall from grace after more than 80 women accused him of sexual misconduct. Weinstein was charged in New York last year with forced entry, criminal sex act, and sexual abuse and misconduct in situations involving at least 2 women. Harvard strips one for contributions to black culture. Of course they did, because they're all just basically party cells. Like, I genuinely believe, like, all these organizations, these colleges, they're just party cells that oh my goodness. Now, everybody sat there, patted this man on the back. Why? Because, hey, if he was clearly the guy to go to if you wanted to make it in Hollywood. And so they sat there and just propped him up just to kick it from underneath him. And it's not to sit here and, justify his, like, any misconduct on his behalf, not by any stretch of the imagination. But at the same time, these aren't things that are secrets, like they're open secrets. I'll put it to you like that. It's open secrets that, Anne Hathaway, Cameron Diaz, all these starlets. Yeah, there's like a train of meat that they got to go through in order to get there. I mean, even not the starlets, like, yo, don't be surprised if your weather girl or, your news anchors and like just almost anyone that's on any kind of platform for the most part hasn't had a meet in or around them at some point. Weinstein was later released on a $1 million bail and has pleaded not guilty to all the charges because they were more than likely willing participants. And when they get the check that this $30 million between 80 women, that's a pretty good chunk of change. I might do the math on that, but that's a pretty good chunk of change. So, they'll be fine because ultimately, ladies, can we come to the agreement that y'all really don't, just off top don't like each other like that? Really, like, this was all like the whole Me Too thing was a scam. Same thing as with Black Lives Matter. It's a scam. Like, whenever like you got these celebrities that like can't back up like their contributions and the work that they do outside of financially, then it's really just a scam. Like the whole Oprah thing with not Nortec, but West Side High. Oh, $500,000. Yeah, that's $2 billion in good publicity. Like, that's the thing. We're not trained to think the way that these folks do. I mean, everybody has different capacities and different educational experiences, and not just educational, just life experiences. So if you're one of the types, if you're like a legacy type individual, then, you're kind of geared for it. Like, take my congressman. Congressman Donald Payne Jr. His father was congressman. His father was the first, seriously, Channel Awesome. Go away. Thank you. His father was the first black congressman, and that's the end of the article. So let's just pull it back on up here. But his father was one of the first black congressmen from New Jersey, along those lines. So, this isn't a, it's just like all smoke screens, and he himself isn't, like he was born into it. Like, that's the life he knows. So, as far as, project living, he ain't never spent a night in a project, or I can almost guarantee that. But as time goes on, the constituency and the demographics change. So I don't even know why I got into Congress, but it really is. But I think it's more along the lines of it being an example of how, we all grow up differently. We all don't see the world the same way. And the way that these types, the rich and the powerful types see the world, those from lower economic standards and or lower economic classes, they can't get a grasp of it at all. That's why you have people sitting there screaming, "Oh my goodness, how can this thing be a thing?" And I'm just like, okay, well, let's figure out how. Oh, that's how. Usually the answer is money. Actually, the answer is always money. Somebody's getting paid something. I can guarantee you that. And these ladies got paid. But I do believe, and this is the frustration that I have with a lot of these movements and organizations from that are supposed to, we're going to uplift this gender, or we're going to, not gender, biological sex. Just, I'm still in the habit of saying, I'm trying to get that out of my vocabulary. But, we're going to stand up for women. We're going to stand up for black people. You're going to stand up for yourselves. Okay. Because the nonprofits, it's an industry unto itself. So Dr. Cosby sitting in the jail cell right now, while, this guy gets to pay his fine and be on his way. They trying to get R. Kelly into, and honestly, when it comes to all of these things, man, as far as I'm concerned, only ones that know what the heck happened is these folks and God. But I do believe that the culture in Hollywood basically gave this man carte blanche to pick and choose. And honestly, power to you. Man, if the game is there to be played, play on, my G, play on. And it really sucks that these that these willing participants have just like turned on them. But that's really within the nature of feminine energy. You know, is feminine energy is not a loyal energy. Feminine energy is a very fickle and irrational thing. So, you know, I mean, but the rationale behind this is let's get paid, ladies. So, with that being said, all the internet stuff. Like if you liked it, sub if you enjoyed my fantastic voice, want to hear more. Share if you think, yeah, this is, I mean, good on them, but let's be real, the whole Me Too thing and Time's Up and all the celebrity voices coming out and acting all indignant when they probably have had gallons of jizz on their face, butt, and or vagina. Then like, yo, like, I mean, seriously, like, what the heck? That's off the wall. Like, it's off the wall for people who have been participating in such a culture to act like moral arbiters. And that's not me acting like a moral arbiter. That's just me as a regular guy saying, yeah, that's nonsense. Cut it out. So speak. If you agree with me, disagree with me, that's what the comment section is for. And until the next video. Stop, darn you.